What's up, guys? MythBus here, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes commentary video. I know it's been a long time, but I've been busy with life, school, work, everything getting in the way. But I'm back, and today we're going to discuss how my guild actually does raids. So we use Discord app to communicate, and what our guild leaders have done is set up a raid channel that nobody can talk in except for the guild leaders, which is awesome because it keeps all the non-applicable chit-chat out of the channel, and we can use that just to discuss the raid schedules, which is very nice. Now, the way we do our raids is we open them up for 24 hours, and for that 24 hours, people are allowed to go in and post zeros. This is so that nobody misses out on anything, any part of the raid, and so that everybody can at least get raid rewards if they happen to miss the actual 2-hour raid window. Once the raid opens up, no damage is to be posted for at least 25 minutes. The goal here is so that everybody has at least a 25-minute window of opportunity to get in and start on Phase 1 with a fresh Phase 1 at 100%. This is so that anyone who's able to solo Phase 1 can go in and start the raid as much as 25 minutes after it opens and still get a good attack in. This also gives an opportunity for anyone who is unable to solo Phase 1 to at least go in and get an opportunity to get as much damage in on Phase 1 as possible. All non-solo Phase 1 attacks, so anyone who's not capable of soloing Phase 1, waits until 25 minutes after the raid opens to post their damage. This usually means that Phase 2 opens usually about 25 to 30 minutes after the raid starts. I like to go in and attack on Phase 2 because I don't have 5s, and my T-bow is not exactly geared to the point where I'm comfortable going in and doing a Phase 1 attack and actually hoping to solo it. Plus, I've been able to actually do some pretty decent damage on Phase 2, so I'm perfectly comfortable with just writing out Phase 2. I don't have the time to farm 5s, and honestly, I'm pretty much just waiting for the next raid to come down. That bit aside, Phase 2 usually runs for about 20 to 30 minutes. By the time people are posting their solo Phase 1 attacks, about an hour after the raid opens, Phase 3 has already started. Phase 3 will normally run till about 20 to 30 minutes before our Zerg time. Now, if you're not familiar with the term Zerg, it comes from StarCraft. It's a really old gamer term that basically just means all-out attack, no holds barred, just everyone go in all at once with all of their tunes, regardless of how strong or weak your 7 stars are, and just mow down the Rancor together. The reason we call it a Zerg is because there is no limit on the number of times anyone can attack once the Zerg opens up. Until the Zerg time, everyone only gets 1 attack, regardless of which phase you've attacked in. So if you attacked in Phase 1, you have to wait until the Zerg. If you attack in Phase 2, wait till the Zerg, and so on and so forth. So the biggest reason that we have so many restrictions on Phase 1 and not on any of the other phases is because we have darn near a third of our guild is capable of soloing Phase 1. And the reason that we have so many restrictions on posting damage in Phase 1 is so that more people can get in on actual doing Phase 1 and not worry about doing over damage. The reason that we don't care about over damage is because we have so many people with so many strong teams that if we let everybody just take 1 whack at a time, the raid would be over before everybody even got 1 attack in. So one thing that we do that other guilds might not do is actually let people intentionally over damage Phase 1. By doing this, we actually leave more of Phase 2 and Phase 3 for people who may not be able to solo Phase 1, myself included, and other players who may not have that strong roster to really go in and post, 6, 7, 800,000 damage, or in some cases 1 and 2 million damage, like some of the people in our guild. So what I try to do is I try to jump in on the front end of Phase 2. I mentioned that I like Phase 2, and you can tell that if I'm lucky, I'm able to reset my attack several times to actually try and get the RNG that I want. The way I try and strategize Phase 2 attacks is I try to stick with a Phasma lead, Rey, Qui-Gon Jinn, Geonosian Soldier, and Yoda team. Ideally, I'm able to get 1 or 2 attacks on the door and a couple attacks on the Rancor, always using Qui-Gon Jinn's basic attack on the Rancor to try and strip just a little bit of his turn meter before I use Phasma's AoE slowing ability to hopefully put slow on the Rancor and get that last little bit of damage on the door so that it all drops with that Phasma AoE. The reason I want to get that slowing ability on the Rancor before the door comes down is because it ensures that I will always get 2 attacks with Rey before the door goes back up, meaning I can get her leverage and flurry of strikes in before the door comes back up. I'm also able to get a lot of attacks in with Qui-Gon Jinn and Geonosian Soldier and Yoda all before that door comes up. Once that door comes back up, my first priority is getting as many attacks in and trying to time Yoda's group buff just right so that I can get it in right before his AoE slam, because what that'll do is it gives basically everyone a free pass on the slam because everyone gets foresight, and he burns his roar because everyone has tenacity up. Now, unfortunately, he does burn everybody's tenacity up, which would certainly help avoid stuns and everything else, but it gives everyone that free pass on the slam, and that's the most important thing. After that, it's basically just RNG, trying to make sure that I'm getting as much damage as possible out of all my characters, and also avoiding the massive damage of the Rancor's slams and his single hits. I mean, that guy does some serious damage. If I'm lucky, he's targeting Yoda after he has foresight, and Rey after she gets herself foresight, hopefully on that basic attack. And if I'm really lucky, I'm actually landing more slows and defense down with Phasma, but unfortunately, even with like a 68% potency, Phasma gets resisted a lot by the Rancor. I don't know what the Rancor's tenacity is, but it sucks. Qui-Gon Jinn, however, has some really good potency. I think my potency is even higher now than what it is right here in this screenshot. I think he's up to 96% potency now, so his turn meter reduction happens fairly often. And there you can see my Phasma is at 63 in this screenshot. However, I don't know what the Rancor's tenacity is. It's high. It's high enough that it sucks. Now swapping over in the video to my alt account where I run, or used to run, an IG-88 lead dot team on the Rancor, was doing a fairly decent amount of damage. Unfortunately, when they quote-unquote fixed the glitch on IG-88, which was causing his damage over time from his leader ability to be unresistible, he sucks now. His leader ability was trashed when they fixed the glitch. Now, you'll see in this video that his dots, I mean, they stack up. They stack up fast. And unfortunately, right after they fixed this glitch, so to speak, IG-88's leader ability doesn't land even a fraction of the number of dots. I was getting out of the door down phase with maybe 3 or 4 dots on the Rancor, and maybe I would get another 4 or 5 before my entire team was wiped out. So what I'm running now is an HK-47 lead droid team, and I just wait until the Rancor is under 50% whenever I'm running these teams, because I want that extra speed buff from the door down. If you weren't familiar with the Rancor, whenever he's under 50% health, when the door goes down, your entire team gets a speed buff in addition to the guaranteed crit and the offense up. So if you have a team that makes benefit of high speed, in other words, my IG-88, or rather my HK-47 team, where I have speed buffs on 47, 88, 86, and Geonosian Soldier, I'm able to maximize all of the damage output while the door is down, because everybody's getting crits, everybody's getting 50% turn meter from crits, and it's awesome. I also try and stack my Jawa Engineer in on that team so that I'm able to get the extra turn meter buff right after the door goes up with the crit up. I try to time that after a roar. Hopefully Geonosian Soldier or HK-47 has offense up and burns the roar on that Rancor's first attack after the door goes back up. But then I'm also able to hopefully revive one of my droids if they're killed with the slam or a single hit or something like that if the Jawa engineer doesn't die first. I want to apologize again for taking so long to get another video out. I know a lot of you have been waiting for my roster review video on Princess Leia. It's coming down the pipes, I promise. It's going to be awesome. She's hitting hard as hell, and I love it. I'm also going to be doing a character farming guide video. I'm actually going to try and hopefully gear that towards the upcoming raid as well as the Rancor. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for not unsubscribing during this break. And as always, like, favorite, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you later.